Hi, I'm Deborah Manfrey, and you tuned in to Financially Fit. On my show, we talk all things mindset, finance, and fitness. And the best part, I get to do it with the people I love. You're watching Financially Fit. Hello, guys. I am so excited for another episode of Financially Fit. I'm your host, Deborah Manfrey, and today I have someone that I recently met in person in one of the women's events that I was attending, and I just felt this connection with her because as she was telling the story, her own story, I was like, wow, I can definitely bring her to my podcast, to my audience, to my people. I'm sure a lot of women going to relate to her, to a lot of things that she has gone through. I myself related to her. So without delay, I want to introduce you to Priscila.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here today. So I'm very excited. It's a great connection, like you said. I'm super excited to be part of this.
Yes, I'm excited for the message that we're going to give to a lot of people today. I think a lot of women will be able to connect with us.
I believe so.
So I want you to introduce yourself. Who is Priscila? What does she do? I want people to get to know you a little bit.
Priscilla, I like to start it. I'm a daughter. I'm a worthy. I'm a woman, I'm a feminine, but I'm also a professional. I own my own business. I'm successful in what I do because I decided to do what I love first, forgetting about all the financial, because I think this is amazing, right? It's awesome to make money, but it's also awesome to be fulfilled from within. And today I can have that.
You get to do what you love.
Correct. Once you find your emotional freedom, you get to do what you love, and the money is just a consequence.
Correct. The money will always flow to you when you step into that passion.
Because I don't chase money. The money chase me.
Correct. Yes. I say I don't chase money. I attract money because
Correct.
You just do it from the heart.
Correct.
Obviously, we need money to live, but when you connect it to your passion, it's no longer about the money.
Correct. It's about who you are, right? This is why every time people ask me to introduce myself, I usually like to start from who I am within, because this is how I feel about myself. Every time I look at myself in the mirror, I see someone that is not only worthy, I'm loved, I'm happy, I'm fulfilled, because this is all that matters. This is what connects you to all the opportunities life has for you. Being a Brazilian, living in America, I think many times, because having English as a second language, how many times I knew that there was an opportunity for my voice to be heard, but I was blocking myself because oh my God, these people gonna understand me? How about my accent? But once I'm it's not about me, it's about the message. It's about what I carry within that matters. Because if it's the right time and the right person, that person definitely going to get the message.
Yes, and they're going to connect with you.
Absolutely.
In our business, I feel like it's an extension of who we truly are.
Yes, absolutely.
When you're connected to your true identity, when you truly know who you are and your core, your business is going to be an extension of that. And you're going to do it with passion and love, because I live this every day as well. It's just you get to wake up to do what you love, and you're excited, just like I am to be with all of you here to share the message that you can get to that place. Obviously, it's not who I was just a few years ago, but that's who I get to be and who I am right now. And
exactly.
I can relate to that. And that's why we connected. Because when she talked, I was like, wow, I can definitely relate to her. I want to know about a little bit more. How did you get here? Because I also went through the same, healing journey to get to know myself. Because I knew what people told about me, right? What my parents, what society, all the experiences, all the pains had made me feel like I was worth it, who I was, until I start working on myself as through my healing journey. I was like, oh, now I get to understand who I truly am, and I am worth it of everything, of the abundance, of a happy relationship, of a happy marriage, of a good health, because I am worth it, not because I have to do something.
Yeah, it takes courage actually to access those little inner monsters that kind of it's scary, So it takes lots of courage to just put yourself out there, to be vulnerable and say, this is what I want because I deserve. It's not because like what people gonna think. It's not about the experience. And it's so funny because people, you attract people in such a beautiful way. As an interior designer, sometimes like I go to my client's house for installation, they want to cook for me. They want to please me in such a funny way because like this is the way I treat myself.
Yes. And so let's get to it. So she didn't get to say what she does. So what do you do?
I'm an interior designer.
An interior designer?
Yes.
How long have you been doing this?
And full time on my own, it's been about a year and so. Like, yeah, before I used to work for a company. Yes. I had to make a little change after COVID. Like,
what did you do before?
I was a visual merchandiser, so it's kind of related. When I was in fashion industry, I used to open and kind of organize stores. So let's say if people have a new clothing store and they want to redecorate it or a brand new store. So I was the one creating all the flow, like where.
So now you're an interior designer for homes.
Homes, yes.
And what is your specialty? I think you connect the home with that person's like touch or who they are. Right?
Yes, most of designers, the line of work, let's say they are contemporary or they, whatever, like they choose one field and they concentrate it on that one. And big mistake when I was in the fashion industry, it was that because like I used to define myself. And I feel that like as a whole, life is made out of phases, right? Like, so in the phase that you were living right now, who you are right here, right now, like, you don't know who you're gonna be in 5 or 10 years because like
you're constantly evolving, you're constantly growing.
Correct. So this is why I decided to approach interior design in a holistic way.
Holistic way, you guys hear that? Interesting because so I'm a loan officer. I finance homes, and this is amazing. If you're looking to purchase a home, I can help. And if you need an interior designer, you got one.
There you go.
She's amazing. I heard great things. That's how we got connected. I heard great things. One of my friends was using you. And she was amazed because you're bringing the touch. Her home was beautiful because I had been in her home, but she was like, she's bringing the little touches that when you walk into their home, I think makes somebody feel like it's my home,
Not only functionality, but like, do you really like to live in this place? Do you see yourself or you're afraid to sit in your couch because it's too modern, it's too neat? Like if you have kids, does your kids gonna feel welcome to your like dining table to have a meal with you? So everything is, I put my projects together in a way that your whole family gonna feel like using that house, like as a home. This is mine, and this is a representation of who we are as a person, as a being. Because like, I cannot just create because I'm a contemporary designer and then I'm going to create that beautiful room that looks like a showroom that you are even afraid. You don't feel welcome because you don't want to destroy the thing. No, I want you to feel like I don't want to go nowhere else. I want to stay here because this is such a sacred place.
Yes, and home, it's such a beautiful place. That's where families gather together. That's where we make memories. It's our safe space. It's our home. It's
yeah. As a professional, I think a very important thing that made me so successful and scale my business to 6 figures in not even 6 months. I was already 6 figures. It was because I learned how to listen to my clients.
Wow.
And read them holistically, not only they tell me that they want a modern house, but wait a minute, the way they dress, the way they communicate, where they come from, what is a priority, their lifestyle, they're not a modern people. So as I was reading them as a whole, I realized wait a minute, let me develop the project, do the presentation. Let's not talk about style.
I love that.
And then when they look, oh my God, you nailed. This is exactly what we expected. And then this is why I grew so fast.
That's amazing.
Yeah, by listening.
I love that. It's important to because a home is an extension of you, everything else.
Yeah.
So, and when people walk into your home, they kind of pretty much walk into that safe space that is you.
Yeah.
So I love that. And I wanted to also what connected me with Priscila was, as I was listening to her, we're both doing an interview for a group of women, was that she was sharing her story that she was in abusive relationship.
Yeah.
Physically abusive, right?
Physically, yes. It was very crazy. I was 17 years old when I met him.
And you stay in there for a long time, right?
8 years.
You got married? You married?
Yeah, I married him. Yep. Yeah. On my honeymoon, he abused me on my honeymoon in the hotel. It was crazy. But it's like they usually say, you connect to people through your pain.
Correct.
So you don't know what you don't know. So I don't feel guilty. I don't feel like discouraged in life because like it was exactly, it's what made me grow. This is what made me the person I am.
How many women can be or are or have been in relationships that were physically abusive? I work with women and I have encountered many of them that some of them have left and some of them stay because, you know, they're afraid to leave or so many reasons. So I think that's important. When I connected with you, I was like, this is like so beautiful that you so vulnerably share that you have gone through a situation like that and that was really challenging to leave, you know, especially that you eventually got married to him. Mm-hmm. And how was that? Like, you know, what made you decide to leave after 8 years? 8 years is a long time.
Yeah, like honestly, it's like I say, I allow myself to be a daughter. That was exactly what got me out of the situation. Because many times, especially as women, we don't put ourselves in our place, in what we're born to be. Mm-hmm. We don't unlock like our femininity because like the world is pushing us towards that edge of like, be powerful, be strong, it's okay, you can do this. And we can't.
Yeah.
Because like the key piece of femininity is vulnerability. And when I allow myself to be my father's daughter, I had this vulnerable daughter, right? Conversation with my dad. I'm like, listen, this is the situation because for the longest time, I was hiding from everybody because the first reaction is to be ashamed. But you shouldn't be ashamed. You're the victim. Of a situation.
So you didn't ask for help for a long time?
For the longest time. Like, I not even recognize, because it's like I usually say, aggression doesn't happen overnight. Somebody not going to come and put the hands on you. Usually aggressors, they test the water first, like I like to say. One time they're going to grab your arm. One day they're going to tell you, don't get out of the house.
Those are the signs, yes, when you're dating and they're like...
The famous red flags.
Yeah, like probably over jealously, like physically, like grabbing you or something.
Yeah, like let's say if they're jealous, they just like get a little rough in your arm. Like if you get dressed to go to a party, they're going to tell you like, you're not going to get out of the house wearing this. Wow. Things that in the past you used to wear, like you're not even showing anything. They just want to control and tell you what to do. So this is how abuse usually show up.
So that means like it starts more with emotional abuse that you would say.
Correct. And like in little touches, one day they push you. So you're like, oh no, he was drunk. Oh no. And when you see honestly, when you see yourself justifying someone's actions, right, that you're being abused. Run, sisters, run, honestly. Because like, but because we're so hurt from childhood traumas and whatsoever, we don't see those signs because your brain usually gonna attach you to things that like emotionally is normal, that is familiar.
It's familiar, yes.
That's familiar. Your brain the whole time. So it's a whole past, you know, like us growing up.
What are you saying? Like, yes, you got involved with a physical abuse, right?
He used to feed my emotional ones. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, but somebody else made you addicted to those emotions, right?
Correct. So that was familiar to my brain. So I was growing up.
Well, who did you see being physically abused? Or
let's say my father is the old school man. Like in South American, you know, like most of the women don't work out of the houses. They homestay mom.
Yeah, they stay at home.
Yeah. So because a lot of people, they have no access, which is my mother's case. She never had access to education. Wow. So she was never going to be like a career woman because of the circumstances, like poverty and everything else. Like that, depending on my dad, so she was being emotionally abused all the time because what are you going to do with 2 kids?
So you watched
So as
that
growing up, correct, because the whole time he was controlling her. So the amount of money that she received, how she had to talk, and that fear, she was constantly fear of my dad. Don't wear this clothes because your dad's gonna be mad. Don't do this because your dad's
fearful of him. Wow.
correct. And
So that was normal. That was familiar to you.
familiar to me. Like even like my father, I remember he used to go play soccer on the weekends. She gets so upset because she wanted him like to spend time with us. He worked the whole week. On the weekend, he's gonna do the boys things. She had time, like lunch must be ready 11 a.m. I don't judge him because like he was a great father. This is another thing that we gotta learn, honor our parents, because he gave me the best he could out of whatever he had.
Correct.
So I don't want also people to twist the situation. I honor my father, although like some whatever he did with my mom, like
because what
it's
you
just
saw,
I'm talking about like what causing me as a daughter to get into a relationship
that was
right?
physically abusive.
Because we gotta honor our parents, disregard like their relationship. So what happened is that like my mom started to like give us things to fulfill that my father was not around.
Yes.
So let's buy a nice pair of clothes. Let's go to the swimming pool club. So we're constantly subbing the emotions with things.
Yes. Wow. That's important.
So when you get into a relationship, no, but guess what? He don't give me love. He's being abusive. But guess what? Every time we fight, he comes with a nice gift. He takes me for dinner. And then, okay, things are emotions too. And no, things are not emotion.
So he was buying your feelings.
Correct.
Wow.
But because my mom, not to face, not to confront, because she didn't know better, she was always buying us out of the missing dad home.
Yeah, the missing that wasn't present. Yes, I understand that. So that it's so interesting because a lot of people don't understand. They look at the partner, and I say this like he is doing this to me. The partner is a reflection. It's a mirror of everything that you need to work with. That I learned this in my own marriage, being gone through a divorce from my first marriage, and in my second marriage, being separated from my husband. I understood that everything that he was showing to me, it was about me.
It's a mirror.
It's a mirror. I needed to work on myself to be the best version of myself that I am today. Have I not gone through all those things that it was everything that he was triggering me? Like it was not about him. It was about me. It was about my childhood. It was about the things that I heard, I saw, and I felt as a little girl. So it's very, very interesting that you connect because a lot of people don't realize, but how did you get the courage to get out of that physically abusive relationship?
Like I was saying before, I allow myself to be a daughter because for women, it's very important because then my parents was actually like in a very better emotional place. So as I was talking to I spoke to my dad. I'm like, listen, the situation, because I didn't have the courage to physically talk to him or call him. I sent him an email. This is my situation. I describe everything that I was going through because the very last time that my ex-husband abused me, it was really bad. To the point that I was so hurt, like physically hurt. Like he tried to kill me. Like he tried to grab a knife. I don't even know. I still these days don't know how to escape because adrenaline makes you forget. So I'm a survivor.
Wow.
Because he was going to kill me that night. So I escaped from the middle of his legs because he was trying to grab the knife. So when he tilted his body forward, I managed to just run. I didn't even know what happened. So those things are so hard when you're leaving them all to kind of listen, this is what happened. You're not going to talk the way I'm talking here right now, of course.
Because you heal those emotions. That's why you're able to speak about them.
Correct.
Have you not, you wouldn't be in the place that you wouldn't be able to talk about.
Yeah, so that was the first time that I felt what it was to be a daughter. So I spoke to my dad. My dad, as soon as he saw the email, he called me immediately. What are you even talking about it? Your bedroom is still here. You is still my little girl. It's nothing you can ever do that is gonna change that. Because like I thought, oh my God, my father, he's such a conservative man. If I tell him that I'm trying to get divorced, because we're supposed to work until you can work anymore. But at the same time, inside of me, I'm like, I don't want to be a victim of like an abusive relationship, that people are gonna feel sorry that I was killed by a man that didn't respect me and look at me like, oh, poor Priscilla, she was a great woman. I did not want to settle for that. Wow. So then I found like
so I would say like the first step is really asking for help.
For help.
She did it.
Absolutely. Because
You're
like,
not- if
and you're
you're-
not alone. You're not alone. Like, and don't be like afraid. Even if someone judges you, go to the next person, but do not shut your voice.
Yes. Asking for help, I think, is the first step, like knowing that you are in that physically abusive relationship and there's a way out. I think that's the first step. And how was when you left him? Did you go back to Brazil or you stay here?
Oh, actually, I met him here and I went back to Brazil. That time when that happened, we were living in Brazil. So I came back here after that.
Oh, okay. So you just left completely.
I completely disconnect from there because like I was also afraid because like I didn't know what could happen.
And you know what I noticed being an immigrant, because obviously I moved here when I was 18, is that a lot of immigrants move here running away from a lot of the traumas and pain and wounds that they experience in childhood that they don't even know. They're not even aware. Because when I moved here, I thought I was looking for the American dream life. When in reality, I was running away. I was escaping from childhood, from all the trauma, all the physical, all the emotionally, all the sexually abuse that I had gone through it. So,
but I would say that a second step is to find yourself a safe space.
Yeah.
Because like that is gonna give you the confidence
to start over, right?
To start it all over again and find the help that you need, because like you cannot heal in the same place where you got hurt.
Wow, you hear this? Say it again.
You cannot heal in the same space where you got hurt, because you're gonna be in contact with your pain over and over again. So in order to step out of there, you need to find yourself a safe space to create a new story, to give yourself a new meaning, and definitely step out of the pain.
Wow, yes. And fast forward, so much changed, right? Because you got divorced.
Yeah, I left everything behind, everything that we built together, which was a great life. But I didn't thought of nothing, because your life is the best gift. Because this is why when I say about honoring your parents, if nothing that they give it to me was good enough, they gave me my life.
Yes.
And this is the biggest.
Amen to this. Amen to this.
That was the biggest treasure someone can give it to you, is your life.
And how many people hold so many grudges, or resentment towards the parents? They didn't do this, or we judge. And there's one thing on my own personal healing journey is that not only to honor them, but to truly love them without judgment, truly forgive them, because what they went through, we don't know. A lot of us don't ask. We don't stop to think about it. They're just passing on their pain, just like I did it to my kids until I heal.
And honestly, I'm sorry to cut you, but I gotta say that. And honestly, they didn't know better. Because think about it back in the days. Right now, you go to Instagram, how many psychologists are talking about it?
They didn't have
any
the access.
subject that you can possibly imagine. How many podcasts, how many resources we have these days? They never had that. And wow, if at least you had so much money in the past, especially in Brazil, you were never going to have access to therapy. And it was a thing for crazy people.
Yeah, people even to sit and talk, like as you were saying, I was in a physically abused relationship, and I'm out of it. And I'm here, I feel like, I wanted to bring you here to say there's a way out of it here. If you're in a physically abused relationship, ask for help, find a safe place. You are worth it at stepping into the life that you truly deserve. As a woman, so many times we put ourselves in the box and places that we don't feel like we deserve more because of the past experiences. But you are truly, truly worth it of living the most happy, abundant relationships in your life. And I say that from my own experience, because I was someone that was constantly, subconsciously destroying my marriage, because I didn't feel that I deserved truly deeply inside. And when I released that, I went back into a lot of my own experience, a lot of the things that I didn't even remember. I free myself from that, and I allow myself to live, to receive, and to be that woman that God had created me to be. So I love this, Thank you for sharing. You just
Absolutely.
giving a voice to many women that maybe have gone through this. So you just can share a little bit of how is life now after you left that relationship? You were able to find a different man,
Yeah, life is amazing. Like, I think before even finding another man, I was able to find myself.
yes.
Because if you have invest in yourself, you're the most important person in your relationship. And you cannot have you can't have a good relationship if you're not good with yourself, because we project on the other person to fulfill us, to give us a happy life. No, only you can give you that. So if you want to be happy, if you want to be fulfilled, if you want to have a great relationship, everything is started with you. So invest in yourself, change yourself. Anything like Deborah said before, in other person that triggers you, it means that is something within you that is telling you, listen, that monster lives in you. So
Yes, I love this. That's so, important. And I wanted to, as we're talking here, if you find this important to anyone that, if you're listening, somebody that comes to your mind, feel free to share this podcast, because it is my mission to bring awareness, to talk about subjects that people are not maybe talking vulnerably right now. So share the podcast with other people. Say, you can support us and you can help other lives as well.
And honestly, one thing before we go, anytime someone, be compassionate. Every time someone open this kind of stuff to you, be very compassionate. Put all the love that exists within you to listen to the person and find help. If you don't think you're the appropriate person to help the person, find help for her. But don't judge.
Yes, don't judge. Yeah, compassion is a big thing. Just step into the compassion, because that could happen to somebody that you dearly love. That can happen to anyone, to your kids, to anyone. So compassion is something that
we tend to minimize people's suffering because we compare for whatever we're facing right now. But your pain is important. Your pain matters. It doesn't matter how big or how small, because everybody feels things differently.
Yeah. So where can people find you, Priscila? If people are looking to an interior designer, or they just want to connect with you, where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram as a Priscila Interior Design. And yeah, I'll be there. I have content not only about interior design, but also for women. I have a mentorship program, which is redesign your inside for women, to teach you guys, not teach. What I like to say, I like to overflow. Whatever I learned, whatever gave me freedom emotionally.
Yes, I love this. So thank you so much for having you here. I love all of you. Share this with anyone that comes in your mind. And I see you soon.
Thank you. See you.